welcome to the third episode of the Concastador.
Number 3! Woo!
It's April 9th, 2009.
2009.
And we're back on video. This time officially courtesy of Uvu. Before it was beta Uvu.
Uvu. Thank you, Uvu.
Uvu is now given us an account. So they're the official and only sponsor of the show we have right now.
Yeah. And we gotta say we're working on figuring out the size thing going on. We don't think there's favoritism towards Oakland, but we don't know.
It might be that they made me bigger because I'm prettier. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
I don't think that's it. I don't know who's determining pretty. But
it might be because you have a super account though. That's our theory, right?
Yeah, that's our
it's
theory.
Either that or your
we'll figure it out.
Or your fancy Microsoft
give a
brief
description of your encounter with the folks at Uvu.
Well, I was at the Web 2.0 Expo, and I went over and I said, "Hey, we used Uvu for the first podcast, and we really liked at least what we got because we couldn't find anything else that would let us record more than."
It was the only thing that did it. Yeah, it was the only thing.
It's
that
got
did
the market cornered.
to do.
More than 2 people on video, and they'll do up to 6 people in video, and then 6 more people on phones or audio at a time.
That is so cool.
You remember how much video conferencing equipment used to cost? I was supported a ISDN-based dedicated video conferencing system that was at that G&B battery when I worked for EDS.
Right.
That thing was like connected to Japan, and they had other sites that had similar dedicated systems. Those things were super expensive every month to run.
And they were video?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was like big boardroom. It was a specific camera, big TV, like a big tube TV with a camera on top of it.
And see, this is the tail end of the sort of where communications. We were talking about sort of what the last 10 years would be like. The communication have been like, and what it was like 10 years ago. So in 1999, how things were. There was like some people had cell phones. Like I think we determined that. Matt did. I didn't have one until the next year, or maybe even 2001. I think it was 2000 when I got.
Well, the question is it the time period that I had a cell phone and a pager, or is it the time that I just had? I think it may have been a time when I still had a pager because cell phones were so expensive that you had to be important enough for me to call me, like send me a message on my pager, and then I would check it. And then I would call you back because I'm not going to leave my phone on because I'm going to just take random incoming calls on my cell phone because it was so expensive.
Or if you're really cool, you get a Sky pager.
I didn't
remember those.
I actually had
Sky pager.
I think I looked at that program number back when I had that 1-800 number. I think.
Right. Sky pagers were the first to do that, and they were like nationwide coverage and all that stuff. It was
and Q-Tip sang about it.
Right. And Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Was it of a Scout pager?
No. The Sir Mix-a-Lot song, the chorus of the song that he said over and over in it was his Sky pager number. He was like trying to get people to leave as many messages as he could. It was Candyman. It wasn't Sir Mix-a-Lot. Sorry, it was Candyman. It was the same guy that did Knock on Boots. It did Knock on Boots. It was that guy.
You love me so, never ever gonna let you go.
That guy.
He's on a fucking Burger King commercial right now, by the way.
Candyman?
Are you kidding me? Are you really?
Sir Mix-a-Lot.
No, I saw that. That's messed up because it's a SpongeBob. It's like a kid's commercial. It's inappropriate.
Are you kidding?
Really weird.
No, it's a SpongeBob kids meal commercial.
They talk about butts the whole time.
Yeah, they have square butts.
Pretty funny.
They say square butts.
Yeah.
It's like
SpongeBob. At the end of the commercial, he says, "Man, booty is booty."
Yeah, that's the end of it. It's for kids meal.
What?
Yeah. It's like
even
for
kids
meal.
booty, I guess. Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
or square booty or whatever,
dude. That's
so speaking of square booty, we should just scroll into the tech side of things. You talked a little bit about 2.0 Expo.
Yeah, a little bit more about the Web 2.0 Expo. I got a free thing that Techzilla posted on there on Twitter. hey, come and see us record a live show. Technical is part of a Revision 3 show.
Yes.
And so I got to go to the floor for free, look at the booths and things. And
nice.
That's where I talked to Uvu and told them how we'd used Uvu before and how I wanted to use it. And they were like, okay, we'll see what we can do. So that's how they've sponsored the show now, is through that. But did I just say that exact thing before?
I think
what?
But
I say bring it again because they're sponsored.
I'm just trying to remember if I said it exactly that way before. Because I was like, wait a second.
You know what, Bird?
I'm going to take a drink from my Uvu cup.
I'm going to be rapping about Uvu. Right, exactly. That's fine.
But it was really interesting to see the show recording and to talk to. I met Patrick Norton and Veronica Belmont, who is at Veronica on Twitter. Paul follows her.
Twitter.
And I don't think did you know she did the show?
Oh yeah, no, I totally know.
Okay, I didn't know.
Yes, absolutely.
You watch any of the Revision 3 shows?
Yes, taking a sip from your eBay glass of water.
Yeah, you see that?
Matt's pushing for another sponsor already.
People lined up for these. I waited till it was the end of them. I got my free beer from IBM at the Web 2.0 Expo.
Was it really IBM though, or was it Lenovo?
No, it was IBM.
I love the free beer in the recession. I think that's great.
Yeah, it's good for you. But
liquor sales are actually up. I mean, that's how you really know that it's
and pornography and drugs. I think too.
Right.
And
people were going because they were on the decrease, right?
And they were saying like dessert places, like dessert restaurants, are doing okay in some places too. They're doing better.
Weird.
Just stuff cake and shit like that because
men's underwear sales are down, and that was one of Alex Greenspan's big indicators, I guess.
What the heck does that mean?
Men's underwear.
What does that mean?
I think it means some weird shit about Alan Greenspan, maybe.
Yeah, right.
He really likes men's underwear.
Yeah.
So
what's this Google and Common Sense versus Associated Press?
Yeah. Or the API, what is it? It's the feed. It's the AP, I guess, right? They are.
Associated Press.
They were all upset about the way they're linking, and they're trying to sue them. And everything they do is under fair use. They're trying to go and eventually go after everybody.
You know what? Well, the AP is also going after Shepard Fairey on that Obama thing too, which is basically also fair use when you really get down to it.
Really is.
And they have real problems with.
I don't know what their problem. Yeah.
And the problem
acting like a label in the digital world.
Yeah, right, and especially
it's just another
that Shepard Fairey thing. They don't even own that image. The photographer actually does. So it's like they have big problems with.
And it's totally fair use. It's completely fair use. It falls under like two different doctrines. Yeah, exactly. There's as a factual event, it not trying to be an artistic thing, like a journalistic thing that has different protections. Then, it's
like the Dallas Morning News way back when used to have this big problem with people going deep linking, like linking directly to articles,
right?
And it's like, what? Come
get
on.
over it. Do you want traffic or not? Just put ads on the pages. Right. Get over it.
Right.
That's why New York Times did what they did. Like they were like, it's not worth it.
Right.
Right. We're for fuck's sake, why are we talking about this and like the people, like company after company?
Why are there still companies
in the 21st century marketplace? Don't get it. I don't understand. What are they getting paid for?
Right.
Well, it's people who they think they know how it works, and that's not how it works right now, and they keep fighting like it's how it works.
Yeah.
Well, they think their content is so special, and the problem is, if your content is special, you have to. Well, even if it is, you have to get people to see it, and people will not. Pay
you gotta listen to that or watch that Trent Reznor interview that was on Dig. It's linked in the show notes. But he at one point he talks about that. He's about how some promoter, I think it was, telling him like, "Hey, when you go to the show, let's give away the EP to people." And he's like, "Why?" It's like if they want it, they already have it. He's like, in the world that this is, like, the music is out there. Like, as soon as one person has it, everybody can have it. And I'm not gonna. I want to do special stuff, and like, why would I even bother? Like, why don't I put money into other promotion stuff? Like,
Yeah, right. This makes no sense to spend money to do this now in this day and age. Absolutely.
Right. I don't know. So you're fighting this, and
especially
AP's fighting it.
Sponsorships.
Yeah.
But did you see the Sprint commercial that had the Twitter stuff in it?
No, I didn't.
They were talking about that, like, on our network right now, this many people are sending this many emails, and this many people are talking to having this many phone calls and this many text messages. And it said, and right now, 226 people are sending Twitter message, or however many people are sending Twitter message. 76% of you don't know what that is, or 26% of you don't know what that is, or something. And then they moved on, and it was the first time that Twitter has shown up in a commercial, like mentioned in a commercial.
Interesting.
Like as a thing, like as a. Oh,
it's crazy. Yeah. It's like.
But speaking of that,
taking over.
Speaking of that, there are a bunch of new things that came out. Like FriendFeed is doing the real-time feeds now. If you look, I don't know if you've used FriendFeed much. It's pretty interesting. You should check it out. You can add so much or as little as you want from other sources of your information. So like if you subscribe to my FriendFeed, it would have my Netflix stuff and my Facebook stuff and my Twitter in it or whatever.
Woo! All your social stuff in one place.
Right, but you can build.
It's all consolidating.
You can build filters like to what would be on the real time thing, and it scrolls kind of like
Twitter
or something.
Absolutely.
So they're doing that, but then Facebook just did that remake where they're kind of look like Twitter too.
Right. Well, everybody's all about updates now. Updates are the new cool thing.
Well, updates have replaced like threads. Or like
right, and along those same lines,
a big deal, and conversation threads.
Yeah, along those same lines, there's a whole bunch of new Twitter apps that are out right now. Twitter Deck, which actually has Facebook support in it, which is pretty cool now. So you can have a little panel, little column in Twitter Deck that is that's dedicated to Facebook updates. You get that little stream over there, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Twirl. I think Seismic Desktop is the reincarnation of Twirl, but I'm not sure.
No, it's made by the same folks.
But it's a different thing. Okay, yeah. But Seismic Desktop is pretty cool. It takes up a little less desktop space as Twitter Desk does. There's a desk like 6 times in there.
Yeah, Twitter Deck. Yeah,
what Twitter Deck does. And then Nambu, which I played with just a little bit today, is an OS 10 only free Twitter client that people have said they've been digging. But I kind of like having TweetDeck because it's an Air app and it can be the same thing on my Mac on my Windows machine. And I don't have to get used to anything different.
Twidget, Matt?
Is that a...
I think that's what Brian uses, Twidget. I think that's what all his tweets look like. They're posted with that.
Does he post them through some proxy that he set up or something, or is it?
I thought it was just.
I don't think it's that.
Oh, is it a widget in OS 10?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
Widget.
I bet that's what it is.
So he's posting from OS 10. He goes to the widget thing and posts, and then goes out. So that's
widget.
That makes sense.
I think so.
That's what I'm guessing. But also, I've installed this week Pigeon, which Pigeon supports like every IM protocol, everything that's out there. Which is nice if you like have to contact. You can do Facebook, you can do MySpace, you can do Google Talk, and Twitter, and
it's crazy.
Is it like now that what was the Trillion? Is that kind of like the Ultra Vista of this whole game?
Well, on top of that, I just downloaded the beta of the new Trillion.
Oh, how is the new Trillion?
It looks
I remember
cool.
them from way back.
Yeah, well, I had a beta of Trillion before they ever sold anything. To where when they went pro, they gave me a pro license back in the day. Like that's how long ago I used Trillion. I love Trillion. Right, I loved it. If you had to like talk to people on ICQ, which is what we used back then, for personal stuff, maybe ICQ, and then maybe MSN for work or something.
Right.
Yeah, it was all about.
And then there were some people on Yahoo eventually too. Yeah,
so you'd
I used Trillion for a while too, if I'm not mistaken.
But I think it's pretty much an open beta right now. So if you go look for it, it's out there. You can get it and get that for free right now. It's worth playing. I don't know. I like testing this stuff out. I like playing with it. I don't need 15 different applications that do the same thing, but every once in a while. Of course. Pigeon's nice, because it's cross-platform. It runs on Linux and Windows, a whole bunch of different distributions, different OSs. So it's nice, again, to have that universal thing. But that's why I really dig Air apps for that reason.
Right. What's
Java
not
sucks.
nice is Java. It kind of puffs balls, and IBM's not interested in buying them anymore, and their stock price is falling.
Well, what it was is that they made an offer, and the president took it, and the the founder turned it down because he doesn't really like Microsoft.
He stepped in and smacked on it, huh?
So then IBM was like, well, whatever. We'll go away and probably fall apart.
All right.
I heard Twit that they were talking about, well, what if Apple bought? It would almost make sense for them to buy it for like the server market so they could, but that's not really what they do. It's obviously, it's such a weak company that it doesn't make a lot of sense for anybody to buy it. Except for the technology. They make those X-Serve servers that are super expensive.
How do they sell? Seriously. I'm dying to know.
If you're a big production
that can't be
house,
a big market.
Like a big video production house or something, I think people buy a lot of those. Like in certain markets. I'm just saying some people think.
But we were talking about earlier in the week about how it's kind of ironic considering the place Sun Microsystems had in the whole PC inception because they were cheaper
for a while.
Right. I mean, because you could get it down to a personal computer level by,
and anybody can make the hardware. Equipment.
Right. Yeah, but that doesn't seem to be their bag anymore per se.
Nah.
And it's totally in what you're talking about, these really expensive systems.
Well, you can get a system for anything right now on the PC side, for sure.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And then on the Mac, you have very limited number of choices on a Mac side.
Right.
That's what those commercials kind of make fun of. But Paul, are you upset with Flash CS4?
Well, there's a whole thing in the CS4 quote unquote family where they've got these really kind of grabby, clingy dot palette things, and in Flash, for an old school guy like me, it just gets out of control pretty quick because
you accidentally grabbing panels. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like I just want to move like the scripting window over, and suddenly it's like clinged on to my timeline and like turned into a tab and is like sharing the space with it. And it's like, no, I still need to see my timeline. I want that just floating over. It does some
weird
here,
like
or
they
something.
combine themselves into Windows thing.
Yes.
I don't really use it.
Yeah, like a whole bunch. And it just gets a little bit old, and it does weird stuff too. Like I'm a big fan of control enter or command enter on the Mac for test movie. And if you do that when you have the script window open, I've seen it will have your Swift push halfway down within the window when it comes up. So it's like, okay, I can't see half of my work, and then you go and you close the actions panel, and then you do it again, and you see it all. And it's like, what is wrong with this thing?
Is this like iMovie 08 syndrome or whatever, where they have some overzealous designer that changed stuff? And
I think they just kind of borked the interface on this one, and it makes me scared because I think they're cranking these versions out too fast anymore, and it used to be like a couple years at least. I think they're on an 18-month cycle since CS3. It's like who needs a whole new, a whole new kit of stuff in 18 months?
Was it them fixing stuff though to some extent too, or no?
Well, I'm sure in some cases, yeah, but in this case, I kind of think they broke some stuff. Honestly, it's like I sort of really miss working in CS3 in a lot of ways. But whatever, I'm a fogey in this game. Yeah, in a lot of ways I can. I mean, it's funny though because that one wasn't free. We've got CS4 obviously from the university for anybody that's a student or anything else for free. So
didn't you already have CS3 though?
Yeah, I do. I do have CS3, so I'm in good shape either way, obviously. But yeah, it's very very strange, and it hasn't happened in a while. I've been loving Adobe's takeover of the Macromedia side of things since it happened. But so yeah, and we've talked about communication, right, from 10 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, we did. There's too many methods.
Nobody's
hyper out of control.
We have never faxed each other.
No, we haven't.
We never faxed each other.
I hate fax machines. I really hate them.
We have never used CB radios.
I've used CB radios, but not with each other. We've probably used walkie-talkies at some point or another, Paul.
Yeah, you and I have, absolutely.
You ever used a CB? Did you ever have a CB, Matt?
My grandparents had one.
I've used a CB.
They would use it. My grandpa's van had one in it, and my grandparents had one.
You had them back in the 70s, didn't you?
They had a big tower.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, when they were huge and badass.
All the cool kids had them on their fucking cars and shit.
Instead of an iPod or a cell phone.
Yeah, they had their CBs.
You had a CB. That's right.
CB and your
That's exactly right.
GM and Segway and
what
announced and showed this weird, bizarre two-wheel balancing vehicle. They make a point to point out that it self-balances, but the whole idea is like if you have four wheels, you don't need to make the robot computer in it that self-balances.
Yeah.
It looks like a bike trailer.
It does kind of like a bike trailer.
It looks like
big
paramedics will be pulling them off of people.
And giving somebody some golf clubs.
Yeah.
It's Yeah, it's like a really strange little vehicle. And Matt's point earlier was a good one, that the Segway was having problems because you can't drive the damn thing anywhere, really, legally.
Right. They're like outlawing them in so many cities now.
Well, as soon as they came out, that happened. Because think about it. Would you want that on the sidewalk? No. And you don't.
On the Segway.
Yeah, that's the only place you see them. Right. That and like security guards or like people in parks departments and things.
There's a dude that lives around here that has a Segway.
On campuses,
do you want to punch him every time you see him?
On college campuses.
He just looks really strange.
Those things are like $4 or $5 grand.
Yeah.
It's like, man, I get a really nice bike for that and go faster than you. And then let me ride on the street.
So what's GM's involvement in this thing? What is GM?
I don't know. I think their involvement from one of the articles that I read is it sounds like they're BS spin because they said it's going to wirelessly navigate around traffic congestion.
What? That doesn't make any fucking sense. What?
No, it's just, and it's coming out they hope by 2012 it'll come out, and it'll be 1/4 to 1/5 the cost of a normal automobile. And it's like, it's a bike trailer. It better be a lot less than 1/4 the cost of a normal automobile.
Yeah, no kidding.
It costs me $5,000 for a bike trailer. Man, I could get a really nice bike. Or a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Or for $5,000, I could get an electric motorcycle. And the other thing that I thought was really great is not only does it only go 35 miles an hour, but it only lasts for 35 miles.
Right.
So you can use it for an hour, and then what do you do?
Real handy.
I guess you can hook on the back of your bike and pull it home.
Push it. What are you doing? Get my exercise.
This other rail pod thing that's kind of strange as well.
Yeah, and I saw another reference to this somewhere that had a little video link that was kind of weird. But it's basically the idea is it's a little car that self-balances that two people can fit in. And they use each direction basically of the rail, and then they can also cluster together and break off and go intelligent directions or whatever in rail systems. But it's sort of like everything's rendered. It's like this kind of
it's just a concept,
high in the sky idea as a concept basically that somebody's trying to sell. But somebody's actually I think worked out the mechanism to make the thing balance on a single rail, which is pretty.
Why is it a big
crazy
deal for it to balance on a single rail?
Well, I don't know. I mean, just you think about trains. Sure, but
and Disney World had that for like 40, 50 years or something?
It's a little
Homer Simpson tried to sell those.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best episode. I love that one.
The Simpsons?
The monorail. Yeah. The Springfield monorail.
Springfield's getting a monorail.
So what's the YouTube link? The weird little thing.
That was a link to the Puma, this GM vehicle thing.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So we got to the video to that strange Segway-ish thing that doesn't make any sense.
It's the Honda scooter of 2009, man.
Honda scooter makes sense.
Yeah, compared to this. But I don't think we got any ads for this.
Kelpin takes a job with the White House. Who's Kelpin?
Kelpin is Kumar of Harold and Kumar.
Oh shit! What's he doing? What's his post?
He is media and Asian American cultural liaison or something.
Wow, interesting.
And he said, "Yep, I'm not doing those movies anymore." The last one he did was Guantanamo Bay.
Guantanamo, right?
Have you seen it? You should totally watch it now. It's so funny.
It has something to do with a bong, doesn't it?
Well, they smoke weed with President Bush in the movie. It's funny. It's really hilarious. This guy is actually working for the White House now.
Yeah, there's somebody from one of Maggie, the kids that Maggie teaches at university's mom has some post in his administration. It sounded really kind of obscure, but she's totally going to Washington.
Yeah, there's a bunch of there's a few IU folk actually that are. I think there's somebody in the Justice Department from IU faculty or something like that.
Maybe that's her, because universities, universities.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Democrat won Rahm Emanuel's Illinois congressional seat.
Right.
It's pretty cool. I mean, was that in jeopardy of not happening?
I was going to say, you got to really wonder, especially in Illinois.
Is it possible for the Democrat to not win?
Northern Illinois, right? Exactly. Chicago. That's a Chicago area county, right?
Yeah,
isn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
He seems like a pretty Chicago dude.
Yeah. Yeah, and then this crazy Somali pirates take this American ship, and they're holding the whole crew.
It's American-run, Dutch-owned ship.
Dutch-owned ship. You're right. American crew. Right.
Did you guys see the headline? The headline that the Americans had taken control of the ship again. I saw that a few times, and about an hour later, I didn't see it anymore. I don't know. I didn't see it anymore. And
it's like camera phone video.
Who knows? Maybe they're trying to psych out the pirates.
Yeah, totally. I don't know.
Put it on MySpace. The pirates are on MySpace.
Yeah. They'll totally be checking their cell phones.
On Facebook. Yeah, right. Twitter the captain.
So yeah, we'll see what happens there. I saw on C-SPAN they were answering questions about it at the State Department.
Well, it's also interesting too because I saw an article about how it's all financial reasons.
Pirates aren't pirates. They're pirates, man. That's what pirates are pirates for financial reasons.
Of course. We talk about unemployment hitting 8% in this country. It's like, what's unemployment in Somalia? You know what I mean? And it's like,
right.
This is. And who doesn't want to be a pirate somewhere in their heart?
I guess so. But those first guys that took that really big shipping container? They were like, man, they had to go. They were getting hungry after a while because they ran out of food and stuff. That was not good.
Speaking of food, that's what was on this. That's what was on this vessel. It's food. It's food delivered.
It was aid.
Aid for I forget what African country, but
it's the same thing that it's always happened in Somalia. Is you control the food. You can the warlords would always do that.
There may have been a few Bibles in those boxes too with the food, but
of course, that's right.
Whatever. So
we go from pirates in Somalia to Indian elections are coming up.
Indian elections, yep, that's right.
and Google has like some coverage. At least that's what the link in the show notes are. I don't know a lot of details about it other than that it's a big deal for their government right now, and they're really like that could really shake up that part of the world, depending upon what happens.
I think they're kind of right. Our politics, they're sort of left of center. I think with who just got in this last time, so it could go in a much more conservative way, especially since the Mumbai attacks, et cetera, et cetera.
That's what it's all about,
right? Exactly. But then it's like what happens with Pakistan and what
right?
That's the
it's a powder keg. That part of the world is where shit's gonna like really go down when shit starts to really go down. I don't see how it's not. It's not gonna be Iran. Well, it's not gonna be fucking North Korea. It's gonna be Pakistan and Afghanistan.
From this Google site.
Well, Pakistan and India, we are terror. We like okay, you're allowed to have nuclear weapons, kind of. You're in a secret club.
Yeah, they all have their handshake. Listen to this. I mean, one of the most recent quotes, senior BJP leader L.K. Advani on Tuesday assured of security of life and livelihood for the people besides good governance if BJP is voted into power. Yeah, they're all going to be going on security. It's all going to be an anti-terrorism thing. So, yeah.
Oh, they're upset, man. I mean, they're freaked out. It's not like it's new either. They've been going through this stuff for a long time. Depending upon where you're in India.
But Mumbai was so organized and so blatant, and then the Kashmir thing has just never died down, and it's constant. It's
another one of these.
It's these areas. Part two,
right?
It's all those areas were cut up into countries. They weren't countries before,
right?
Before like colonization, basically. Not like the way they are now. They were sliced up and turned into countries. And why don't they work out? Why isn't Iraq happy?
Yeah.
Well, it's because you just took a bunch of people and kind of clumped them into a country and said, "Hey, you guys are like in a country, okay?"
You guys want to be a country? All right, you're a country.
Right, but along the country, talking to different countries. So we're talking to Iran.
Yeah,
yes.
They well, kind of. We're saying we're going to, and we're going to have direct talks with them. But we're still against their. Actually, it's kind of shady if we are against reconstituting uranium because Obama really hasn't said anything about it. But he has said that if Iran wants to use nuclear power for peaceful purposes, then that's fine. But they'd have to be willing to let inspectors inspect vigorously. And the big deal is
that.
So I mean, who knows if they'll do it or not? But they're basically starting totally like bilateral. Well, it's not bilateral, but I think it's the something 5 or the something 6. Or the U.S. and Iran will be there together talking to each other, and that's a large shift.
Well, that's. I mean, and that's. I think that's making good on yet another promise. That's also about, he went to Turkey, to a Muslim nation, and it's, what in his first.
It said we are not a Christian country.
Yeah,
exactly. Which drew a lot of criticism from people, Christians.
People in stupid town.
Bring it on. Bring it on. Nowhere in any of our founding documentation does it say that we are. So,
it does say God and all that. It is in the stuff. It is there. But
God, but not Jesus. So that does not make us Christian, does it?
God's like on purpose ambiguous.
Right.
A lot of times. Like
so,
God.
Yeah, that Christian thing gets real hard to argue when they don't ever mention Jesus.
Speaking of Christians, Vermont, first state to legalize gay marriage via legislation. The fourth state overall, including Iowa.
They overturned the governor's veto.
Right.
It was like 100. They had to get some certain majority, and they got it. Like it's the first time in 20 years.
Democracy.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that the governor's veto has been overturned. Because they passed it, and the governor was like, "Well, dude, I'm not going to veto it." And they're like, "All right, well, cool. We will veto it."
We were going to overturn that veto, so
because it's way more of us, and you're just a dude.
Speaking of overturning stuff, Obama's already overturned a bunch of stuff in his first few days of office, including he's laxed stem cell restrictions, Guantanamo Bay prison is going to close, no more stop-loss policies in the military. Waterboarding apparently is now torture, which is cool. Cutting military budget. He was in the Prague speech. He was talking openly about banning nuclear weapons, which was followed by him saying it's not going to happen in my lifetime. But for a United States president to say that,
it's a huge deal.
Yeah, that we need to get rid of them, and that they're going to pull. You have to start somewhere, you know.
Right.
I think it's really cool. You got to watch the Daily Show. You got to watch the Daily Show episode where he compared it to the speech that Superman gives in Superman 4.
Oh yeah.
I haven't seen Superman 4. I don't think.
I think it's
the nuclear guy.
Where he's like, I have to destroy. I'm in a world with no nuclear weapons, and he takes all the missiles and throws them in the sun. I think that's the movie that happens.
Jeez. So lots of really cool music stuff going on lately. Chuck D being in Bloomington on this past Saturday is probably the most recent one. He spoke at the Near Marshall Cultural Center here.
Where's that? Where on campus is that?
It is right behind the auditorium. It's the
it's where they tore down what was the African American Cultural Center and built a new one.
Years later. It's the new it's the new African American Cultural Center, and he spoke there as part of a symposium. He does what he describes as conversations because he doesn't really stick to any one topic. He just, like, my favorite example is he brought up Soulja Boy, interrupted himself getting into his soliloquy about Soulja Boy by somehow comparing him to New Orleans Katrina, and then by way of that got into the history of New Orleans and the Mississippi River and how it was used to move slaves. And slavery, and then brought that all back around to Soulja Boy and his place in hip hop right now, which was pretty hilarious. But I mean,
so he's a big fan of Soulja Boy. Is that what you're saying?
No. He was basically a lot of people are he's the most popular rapper, but most real hip hop folks obviously are not fans at all, including Chuck. And then the whole point being that it's like, everything's strayed so far off that it's all like sipping Kool-Aid, A lot of people say that this is like the glam metal phase right now of hip hop.
Right.
If you had to make a comparison to rock and roll. But yeah, it was great seeing him. He gave me a shout out from during the lecture, from recognizing me from Rhythm, this group that I was in back in the early to mid-'90s. I gave a link here to Z-Box, which has a sort of an archive of some of our stuff from way back when. But that was really cool, and it's always really, really great to see him. He's a kind of an awesome guy and really just down-to-earth human being. Did a book signing afterwards, bought a copy of his book, which I did not have, and got that signed as well.
Cool.
So all-around good stuff. Josh went over there as well.
I had some fried chicken and food and shit. They had fried chicken and baked potatoes and bagels and orange juice.
Right. So I also have a shout out recorded from when I saw them. I saw a Bomb Squad panel in August. So that's coming in a mix CD very soon. All of that will be celebrating 20 years in the hip-hop game for Public Enemy and actually 20 years DJing for myself. And that's actually a couple years ago.
20. So. Yeah. 20
I did. We're catching up here. So, anyway, other cool stuff was going on in Bloomington, which Josh can pick up on, because I did not get to the Dead Prez show, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was a pretty good show. That was actually during African American Month, I think.
That's right. That was
the
February.
Same organization put all three of these events together that we're talking about. And so, a few days after the Dead Prez show, Cornell West IU Auditorium, I am currently reading his book that I got there, and it pretty much blows my mind. And speaking of, on the hip hop tip a little bit, the Roots Picnic, I saw the line.
Oh, yes.
I can't remember who all was in it, but it did look pretty good.
It is very quick. The Roots, TV on the radio, Black Keys, Santa Gold, Asher Roth, and more. Featuring a special performance by Public Enemy.
What is?
Featuring I can't hear it at all, actually.
No, it's just in my headphones. I put it on.
Oh, gotcha.
On my side, I just was deciding.
Special performance by Public Enemy, who will perform and takes a nation of millions to hold us back. Backed by Antibolus and the Roots.
Oh, that's awesome.
Doing that whole nation of millions set, Matt.
It doesn't even matter who else is playing then.
That's
with
cool.
Antibolus and the Roots. Right.
Well,
so, it's in Philadelphia. Festival of Fear. I really want to go.
Why do it cost you to fly?
I'm hoping. I don't know. I'm going to check into that. I wouldn't be.
Well, it's not much of a drive. I can't drive there from here.
Oh, sure. For you? Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not going to drive there.
You could.
I want to see if I can.
Well, I'd have to rent a car.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm totally going to probably work the driving angle if I can. But yeah, looks like a really good time. Looks like a really great lineup too.
Well, no, really neat.
Of folks.
So
what else we got going on?
Original Beatles digitally remastered.
I would have thought this happened a long time ago, but I guess not. I guess they didn't go back and remaster it. They just took it from tapes.
They were always taking it from the.
I mean, the anthology I thought was remastered, wasn't it? The Love definitely was remastered.
That Love thing was, absolutely.
Right,
well,
they've been doing stuff
that George
in
Martin has touched, right, has been remastered.
Right, but they didn't, the albums themselves hadn't been.
Right.
Which is weird. I thought they had.
Oh, I see.
And they're still not on iTunes.
No, they're just taking the analog masters, I guess.
Did you see that?
CDs,
Speaking in music, do you see that iTunes is doing, everything is DRM free now?
Right.
But they're doing variable pricing. This was $69.99 and $1.29. I'm thinking those are the price points. And like almost everything that's new is $1.29. And then about everything else is $99, and then hardly anything is 69 cents.
Interesting.
So really, basically, prices effectively probably went up for almost everybody.
Cool, went up.
Yeah. It's $1.29 for a track. For the new track.
Recession, dude. You know, it's more expensive to make an MP3 now, Matt. It costs more. Those production costs on those files, man, oh my God, you would not believe. It is really hard. MP3 factories, they got them working all night.
You know, the one thing it does is it gets rid of that stupid thing where, you know, people who would, like their hard drive would fail on their Mac, and they take their iPod and it had all their music on it, and they'd go plug it into somebody else's Mac, and it would erase all their music off of their iPod.
And they get freaked out, yeah.
Because that was like the default behavior. Like it would I'm going to sync, and it's like, oh, nothing's there. I will sync all this stuff off, and sync all this stuff off, and then nobody had anything. It would get rid of that because if it doesn't have DRM on it, it shouldn't matter what it's on. It shouldn't.
Right. Exactly.
So this Lady Sob sort of stuff you have here, all of it looks like you don't really like it, right? I mean,
I listened to the album today, and there's there's only a couple songs. It's nearly as interesting as the other ones. I just thought I'd mention it because I dug the other albums, and
I felt that way about the last. Like I've heard like a track or two that I like, but by and large, like I haven't been. I think felt like it was sort of going to be like MIA maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of I got kind of tired.
I like the other ones. It got weirder and more produced now,
yeah.
But she didn't get any better at writing rhymes or anything.
No, exactly.
So it's like it seems like a whole different story because before it felt like this. Oh, it's not that polished, but it's kind of cool because it's not out of the U.S. It's
right.
I don't know. It's interesting. Right. It was fun. So the stuff was catchy. It was
great novelty. Honestly, is what I took it as, and
maybe.
I think it ended up kind of being that a little bit, which it happens. Not to say she couldn't go somewhere, but I don't feel like she's not MIA. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like MIA is an artist on a lot of levels that is like, proven and done in a lot of things.
Well, not everybody has to be MIA.
Grammy. No. I'm just saying, like when you make that comparison that with anybody, it's like it kind of sucks. But for Sav, I think she's more like she's honestly a little bit more of a Vanilla Ice, I think, than a MIA.
Oh, that's not fair.
No. I mean, she's not going to have a lot of hits.
She doesn't rip off Queen.
Okay, maybe Everlast. Maybe she's Everlast.
See, that's fine. Everlast is fine. I like Everlast.
Right.
Not as Everlast, but as. And then then we have the 9 Inch Nails app for the iPhone, which, as far as I can tell, is still about out.
Right. Which they're talking about.
It's been submitted.
And they're promoting it.
It's supposed to, but the thing is, you never know when these iPhone apps are going to get approved. But Reznor did have a really cool interview on Dig. That you should check out. A lot of it about the movie or the music industry and like what he's done and what he's doing, and the fact that he funded this iPhone app, and the fact that he funds his own website, and questions about all the HD video they gave out to him, like they gave out to the fans to edit and stuff. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. What were you saying, Paul?
Matt being freaked out by his biceps.
The fact that he looks like Henry Rollins now. He used to look like that skinny dude with long hair. Like you knew that dude, and now he looks like looks like Henry Rollins, which almost like he has giant arms, just neck.
He used to do a lot of cocaine apparently in the Marilyn Manson days, and that kept him very skinny. Yeah. So good to see him.
No, it's good if that's your thing that you do now rather than hard drugs. Is you work out. That's cool. But I was just shocked because I had not seen video of him obviously in a while.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
Exactly.
He's looking a lot kind of more like Glenn Danzig or
yeah, exactly.
Henry Rollins than Trent Reznor.
That's right.
And on Glenn Danzig, I think that's going to be the end of
so thanks to Uvu for this show. Thanks to Uvu.
Thank you.
Check out Uvu at oovoo.com. It'll be in the show notes and stuff, but it's also on the video if you're watching this in the video format.
That's right.
And stay tuned for next week. And if you have, if anyone's watching this and has feedback, send us feedback. The Uvu ID is Zebtron, Zebtron. So Zebtron on Uvu, and you can send us a video message or whatever. Yeah, each of us has an email address. There's Matt at concastador.com, Paul at concastador, and Josh at concastador. If you want to email us individually. Any other email to that domain will get bounced away to Neverworld.
So you don't want to do that.
Don't do that at all. All right, well, thanks for joining us. Take care and have a great whatever evening or morning or afternoon or whatever it is. Bye.